Hello there everyone, this is I am Mark 3 and welcome back to FTD. 20-minute builds, I think, is probably a fairer term for it. Yeah, if you remember last week I was trying to do a mini-series and it was about 20-minute weapon systems. And then it kind of went flat. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Excuse me while I just warm myself off nice and safely in here. Yeah. So, 20-minute builds. Half the reason it disappeared is because, well, actually there was some unavoidable real-life stuff which caused a problem. But the other thing is that it was actually, people were showing a bit of interest in it. So, I decided that, you know, since we do need to help get some more regular FTD content going on the channel again, and things like that, I would change it from builds to... change it from weapons to builds. I think that sounds like a fair thingamabobby, doesn't it? And so, if you want to submit a build or weapon system design for a 20-minute, just go ahead in the comments below. And I'll keep track of what's going on and what I've been doing, and sooner or later I'll get to it. I'm thinking of doing these like once or twice a week. Also, please keep in mind that, well, someone asked for a four-legged Strider mech in the weapon set, so it's like, not really. That's not going to go too well, is it? Let's see, 150? How long is that? 1,500mm. Yeah, that's not too bad. So yeah, keep in mind that if you do more complex stuff, A, it'll be hard for me to do it in 20 minutes, and B, it makes it less likely to be picked up for one of these little builds. So yeah, there we go. And hopefully let's see if we can make this a regular thing. Now, as to what I'm doing, I am putting together a flak shell. I'm going to add a super cav base, no not super cav, a bleed base to it. There we go. How's this doing? And I'm thinking a 150mm might be a good idea because it's a nice lowish end cannon caliber. Also, I want a timed fuse as well. So there we go. So what's this going to do? Flat radius of 47 meters. Expected damage pretty low. Maybe a 200. 246. Let's go for a longer shell, shall we? So. This is, once again, picking up from Bapple, actually, as it turns out. So, sorry, Bapple, you've got 2 in a row as far as these are concerned. Such a shame, isn't it? But, I actually picked up at random, and we got Bapple's other request. If you remember last time, it was for a, like a secondary-style turret particle cannon. And so I showed my theory on building, that's a 4-meter shell now. Ugh. 150. I wanted a bit shorter than that. 3-meter? The problem with flak is that well, flak is not that powerful. Let's see, what's the 100 look like? 1,600. 110? 20? 120. 1,900mm shell. 143 damage. Which means it'll hit consistently for about 70 odd within its reach. Well, we have got the time fuse, and let's actually swap a little bit of that out for HE. So, as you see, HE has already eclipsed it considerably in the damage department. But I'll only put 2 there, so 290 within a... so if it gets really close, it's going to do more damage. It's going to do like 50, 60 odd at 20 meters, so it'll do some flak over a much larger range. Time fuse will be helping for detonation. And yeah, I guess that'll do. It's a 2-meter length, but that's alright. That'll do for my attempted shell. So yeah, as I said, we're going on with Bapple's other request, which is a secondary turret kind of thing that you might find on a battleship-style craft. Let's just plug in a local web controller, a failsafe, and a wireless connection for this. So yeah. Also interested in doing this relatively easily. as I did before, I have installed I put together a basic fortress style thing, which includes everything that might be needed to do this. So I've got full detection systems that can track inbound air targets pretty accurately. I've got big ammunition bank underneath here, powertrain, fully equipped AI, you know, stuff like that. So this is all ready to go, and with plenty of empty space at the front as well for any future customization. All I have to do once I'm happy with this is button up the top of it with a couple of meters of armor, and then it'll be good to go for simple testing. Where was that local web? There it is. Right. So AI, no. New object. We want a one-axis turret. I'm thinking of something a little bit bulky here. So I guess we can go with a 3-meter turret instead. Then we'll have a metal, and then a 2-axis elevation only. So there we go. So it's all mounted on this 3x3 base, and because we've got this, we can now mount anything as far back as here, and the weapon will still work, which is kind of why I wanted to do it that way. So, right, in terms of our shell, we decided to go with a 120mm shell. So not outrageous. It's not a light flak, but it's still fairly heavy-ish for something that's intended for fast firing. So, right, what I'm thinking is try for something relatively simple. And something that might look nice as well. Also got to bear that in mind too. Also remember, of course, that we've got a 2-meter type shell. So we have to be aware of that. So, I think this might be too large. Let's check it. Gauge is 236 out of required 120. Yep, that's a bit too big. Oh no, we'll have to put in cooling parts. What a shame. Advanced cannon. But I'm thinking of making these like single barrel, so relatively simple, relatively straightforward, but it's going to be its own little thing. 70, 120. There we go. Only need the one. But most importantly, we've got 3. So we're making the 6-barreled cannon. Also, there's an FCS in here as well, in case you didn't notice. But yeah. Oh yeah, look how responsive that is. There's an enemy over there! Yep, that should fire... Well, it won't fire, it'll turn really quickly. That's what I'm looking for. So, barrels. We can adjust this slightly if we need to in a bit. But I'm making basically a 6-barreled anti-air. And for the sake of our first test, we will load it with this. The only problem with doing massive multi-barrel arrangements like this is you have to tune the ammunition for every single thing. Oops, wrong place. So I have to select inputs for every cannon individually. I can't do it for the entire turret, it has to be per system. So it has to be like this. And of course, one input is not going to keep up with one barrel. That is a given. On the bright side though, it will let us fire a couple of shots so we can at least see what kind of velocity and reload times we are dealing with in terms of this. Are you all loaded? Yep, you're all loaded. Yep, that seems suitable. And the reload time, the cooldown is 2.89 seconds. Good. Let's go ahead and, of course, add... I forgot to do this, unfortunately. Add muzzle bore evacuators to it, which will aid a little bit in cooldown. But that is 2.89, that's definitely not too bad. It makes a nice burst fire flak weapon, I think. Not very accurate, must admit to that. And yeah, as soon as it's done, it's waiting on the reload. 2.6. I'm almost happy with that. Almost happy with that. So, with that in mind, let us go ahead and extend it slightly to bring the cooldown a little bit more. since this is for a big battleship, a big, beefy, macho, tough battleship style thing, we're not going to bother with that pansy stuff like recoil compensation. Oh, no, 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 no. We're going to give it a simple 1 meter Omni mantle for slightly better aiming. Actually, we could go with... what does the 1L look like? Not too bad. What about if I turn it on its side? How does that look like? Interesting. Okay, right. Advanced cannons. Barrels. Barrel 4 meter. Standard wisdom is to have a heavy... well, it's something I've been told over and over. I don't know if it's standard wisdom or not, but something that often gets leveled my direction is put heavy as the first one to make it a bit harder to destroy. Or something like that. But I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do it like that, and then I'm going to put a heavy barrel end cap. That's the one. Just on the end of that. So it's got a little bit of a thing on the end there, but it's not really meant to be, you know, doing too much. Now then, there's a little thing two little things we need before the weapon system itself is complete. First off, we need to pay attention to the shells, and for that I need a laser targeting module, which I'll quite happily plug in along the sides there. The laser targeters will allow the cannon to automatically set its fuses. So the laser targeter will work out what the cannon is trying to hit and pinpoint it, and then they will auto set the timed fuses in the shells to detonate on that target, or where it thinks that target is. So, yeah, if I can track it more accurately, it's probably... I don't know if these things are actually able to do that, but we can use offsets for adjusting times, altitude, stuff like that. So it's like if we wanted to detonate slightly before a target, if it's like a frag round, we can tell it to offset the timer. And so the fuse will automatically detonate like maybe 0.2 seconds before it reaches where the target is. Just to shower it with lots of lovely, lovely shrapnel and things like that. You know, that kind of thing. So let's see, we want a single 2 meter autoloader. So again, nothing super complex about this. And we're going to put those in like that. And then, to confuse it, we're going to flip it over and put one in like that. So that should allow it to remain fully functional. Or not, sorry. Put it like that. Unfortunately, it seems like the 2 meters are too small to do that. But normally, you can actually confuse it by flipping these things over so they don't line up properly in their connections. 1.1, What are you connected to? Apologies. There we go. Is that suitably split? 1, 1, 1. There we go. 1, 1. Yep, that's all correct. Okay. So we've got this little staggered thing going on at the back here. Now, into each of these, we need to connect 2 ammo inputs. So, advanced cannon, ammo input feeder. These racks will keep an additional shell in reserve, but in general, you need 1 barrel to 2 ammo intakes. That's what you generally need for these things to work properly, quote unquote. Yeah, that was not connected, so 1 there. And the thing is, we actually do need a bit more. I mean, with the cooldown, these things will actually over exceed their loading capacity fairly quickly. So it'd be nice if we could just mount this. You know what? Let's do that. Let's mount it all slightly forward. Let's just put something in so it won't accidentally scrap the barrels again. Okay. Never mind. That didn't work. Whatever. but we want this thing to move forward slightly again, and which of course increases the cooldown. But since we've got this thing cooling faster than it should do anyway, naturally, we might as well. Let us get 3 inputs rolling per thing. Should be good. Should be good. I'll put that on there. So same loader layout, just slightly further forward. There we go. And that will give us a bit of space, because remember, we're on this, so we can't actually go behind this bit here to add another intake behind. So that's why I wanted to extend it slightly forward. If we did, it would interfere with the turning operation of the turret. So avoid. Yeah. Got to bear in mind the limits of the system that you are trying to work with. Also, you need to press the correct buttons. I'm not a good example of that, must admit. The number of times I hit the buttons is just... Anyway. One there, one there, one there. There we go. So 3 inputs feeding into a single autoloader, which means the autoloader will refresh really quickly. Might need a double autoloader actually, but not what I'm working on this time. Plus I can also see the time rapidly clicking down. So yeah, muzzle brake? Nah. Recoil compensation is for pansies. Yes. Well, actually it's not. It's actually a very sensible thing to do. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put in the adjustment. Yeah. Hang on a second. 1 meter L. Sideways. Okay, barrels. Once again, I'm rebuilding the barrels. That's okay, though. I don't mind, well, actually, this is pretty common for me, I find, working on advanced cannons. I often shuffle things around a bit. There we go. Note, by the way, that the first spore evacuator is the only one that counts. Any after that don't actually give added effects besides barrel length. So, that is good to know. Assign to all, and assign to all. So what we've made is actually a 6-barrel turret, which will fit on any slightly open space inside on the sides of a battleship, and will turn and fire 6 flak with timed fuses at anything that kind of gets his attention, basically. But this is the basic system, and it is actually a very basic one. Let's see, downslope 4, twist it around. Downslope 2. And let's make it slightly bigger than that. Downslope 3, we need to keep this line clear because that's where the laser targeting is. There's nothing that says we can't do anything with the middle, so... Actually, it's recommended we do something with the middle anyway, just so that we can keep it better protected. And let's install the 4-meter wedge piece, just like that, so... Very aggressive shape, this, I must admit. But that's how I tend to build stuff. Downslope. Downslope 4. Very basic armor. I know. Technically, armoring is not really required for this kind of thing. I meant to be like just showing the basic system, aren't I? But you've also got to admit the armoring is also kind of rubbish too. On the bright side, though, there is a gap in here, so we could actually install an internal shield generator if we were so inclined. But I'm not going to do that. So there we go. I might as well close off the back though. Actually, no. Got to leave part of it open just for that, so like that. That bit's got to be left clear just for the vertical elevation. Right. And in just under 20 minutes, I've built this thing, which is actually looking okay. Definitely looks like something I would put on the side of a battleship with how the armor slopes and stuff like that, but that's just me. Actually, what I'm thinking is, let's let's adjust this slightly and put in that for a little bit of aesthetic so it's not just flat sloping. So there we go. Yeah, it's a bit sluggish firing, but it is still doing stuff. Wait, why are you still reloading? I seem to have done a bit of a bad job on the loading side of it. Great. Ah, well. A quick adjustment is required. A quick minor adjustment seems to be required. Because it's not... I forgot the autoloader passing straight to that is... Yeah, we do need that second loader I mentioned. Just to get it fully functional. How should I do this? Could install a pair there. Right. Again, apologies for this. It's like, I thought I was about done, but I'm not quite happy with how it performs because I forgot a key feature, so... Oh well, we're running into overtime, what a shame. Nothing to stop me from doing it like this, though. So we can do it like that, and we need, once again, basic principle, one of these to two of the inputs. So, unfortunately, this does have kind of exposed magazines on it, which is not actually that bad. It makes it more of an aesthetic kind of style, but it could be relatively easily sorted out if we wanted to. In fact, yeah, I think it looks slightly better like that. No shortage of loading for the ammunition, though. But yeah, that should allow it to operate properly. I just need to make sure to load it all again. Assign, assign, assign. Don't worry. This is following the usual pattern, so last minute tweaks, and then this is going to be given something to shoot at. Once I'm happy with how it's performing. Yeah, that certainly looks alright, doesn't it? Very aggressive. You're an aircraft, how dare you get near me? There we go. That is better. Until the clips run dry. Oh, darn it. What? That's not... Why is it doing that? Oh well, it is definitely putting out a lot of flak, but still that's not quite right. 1.19, 1.19, 1.19, there's no ammo shortage at all, so it's just the gun naturally going out of sync, so... Yeah. Oh well, that's alright. That's not too bad. So, with that said, let us go ahead and button up the top, so the inbound shells and things won't actually wreck the internal mechanisms of the fortress. That's why I left this thing kind of open on the top. It's just like really easy to get into it and fortify with some layers of metal just to protect things. We've certainly got enough detection to take care of everything. And game pause. Let's start spawning in some light enemies to observe performance. Enemy spawn. Actually, you know what would be better? Save. Save vehicle. 20 min. Flak turret. There we go. Yeah, looks kind of stylish there. Enemies spawn. Deep water guard. Let's get a basic helicopter and I suppose a monkey barrel. That's going to be no threat, but at least we can see how it goes. Oh, okay, I forgot something. Certainly takes its time, doesn't it? Oh! Nope, it's doing something. I think what might be going on is we forgot to configure the AI. Let's see. get the AI to as up to date as possible. Oh, look at how fast it's adjusting. That is very, very. Oh, that's a bit better. Yeah, that seems to be okay. Everything was detonating as required. It was kind of airbursting around it a bit, but that was not too bad, all considered. Let's see. We got the tracking adjusted way down to make it more accurate. The other thing we need to do is we need to adjust the cannons, because I forgot to do that. They are accepting 2 degrees of inaccuracy. Even though these things are not that accurate, they are actually relatively short barrels. They're more of an area saturation kind of thing, what with firing 6 shells at once. We do want to try and keep it as... So it thinks it's going to hit where it is, and then the scatter will naturally just happen. So give me another monkey barrel, please. First salvo missed, second salvo bullseye, effectively. And it's taken some beating, but it's still taking a while to go down. That looked kind of important. Oops. There we go. Oh, it's got magnets. Ooh, dear. You cheater! You had magnetics. I was not armed for that, actually. Well, not resistant. Hang on a sec. I can fix this. Where am I? Right. More importantly, where has my did they adjust the... Hang on. Was it C? X? Oh. That's a quick spawning button. Okay. Oh, Z. Here we go. Oh, they've done something to it. My stuff disappeared. Block, copy, paste. What I wanted is the repair. They've changed the stuff. Why do I have to buy all this again? I wanted the repair tool. Oh well, I'll work out what's going on there later. In the meantime, though, we need a plane to shoot this thing at. Enemy spawn, give me a... I could go for an airship, but they're pretty big, so that's not really what this thing is geared for. Plane, give me a duster. Oh yeah, I forgot, hang on. Destroying vehicles. I forgot the fact this thing is currently repairing and doesn't have an AI on it. Or shells. Why did that disappear? Sign of suicide, AA, path viewer, no. Our skills, debug repair, is that the one? What did they change it to? It's a repair bot with a click of a mouse. Let's try that, I suppose. No, that's not the repair tool of old. Not in the slightest. I am slightly disappointed by that. The repair tool was excellent for working in the designer, but I'm not sure where it is anymore. Right, okay. Now that the fortress is actually fully functional again, because repairs have stopped, let us actually do what I was going to do. Hit X, bring in a duster. Oh, interesting. The shells were being detonated by the simple autocannons. However, when that didn't happen, they were actually getting... Oh, yep, there it goes. Yeah, so the simple autocannons actually work as an anti-air defense. Let's get a Drake in here. Well, I've already shredded some important stuff, and those thrusters are really loud. Jeez. Yep. The flak is doing as it should. It's blasting out the wings, so against planes it is actually pretty darn good. That also means against airships it would tread away the balloons and knock them out of the air if they rely on balloons. Thruster crafts, big bulky craft, this is not the weapon system for you. But it does seem to be well suited for dealing with lighter enemies. Once it gets locked in on them, it can work it out. Maybe I should install a firing delay. A 1 second fire delay, because that is the... Actually, I've got a half-second aggregation going on, haven't I? Yeah, so let's give it the same aggregation as the AI system. So after an enemy appears and is detected, it'll wait half a second before it actually engages and fires. Give me another duster, please. Well, that didn't do much, did it? Well, the duster was turning, so that is actually the point where it's going to be hardest to do anything about it. Oh, ouch. Wings? What wings? You're now a thruster craft, aren't you? Whoops. Or not. Okay. I quite like the look of this thing. However, the performance is not quite where I would want it, must admit. But hey, it's a simple one. It's a deck gun design. So if you've got a flat spot, just slap it down. It'll do stuff. Let's get a Shrike in here. Knocked out some wings, not enough though. It's a heavy bomber, so that's going to cause problems. Yep, I think that was my ammo. Yeah, that was my ammo reserve going up. Fine. Manual control it is. The question is though, do I still have ammo or not? Oh, that Shrike's having a lot of trouble turning. Oh, I think I damaged it a bit too much. Yeah, it just ditched. Something this fortress really needs is more repair ability. Actually. Oh, nope, it's actually launched again. Okay. My fortress is taking damage because it's run out of power. Yeah, that Shrike is actually combat ineffective. It's pretty badly damaged. It can't control itself anymore with the damage the flaks have done to it. So yeah. Not the best flak system around, I must admit. But for 20 minutes, just bodging it together. If you put a bunch of these on the side of your ship, it'll give any kind of any light aircraft a bit of a rough road to go. Oh, yep. However, it does seem to have the slight effect of the flak shells detonating themselves too. So, from what I can tell, each salvo is partially detonating itself because they're all too close together. I never actually thought of that. Then again, I normally work with bigger systems when I use explosives, not multiple smaller barrels. Still, looks nice. And yeah, that guy is definitely not getting anywhere. Yeah, look at that. See, a couple went off, the rest of them just vanished. So that is greatly reducing the gun's damage output. Ah, well. Flawed, but it looks okay. So that is an idea that doesn't quite work, but it does make an interesting looking weapon. So I think that's what I like about it. Unless... wasn't there a limitation on number of shots? Idle azimuth, limited rotation speed. Number of barrels, desired maximum fire rate. No. There used to be a max fire rate on the turrets itself, but it seems like that has been changed, or it never did much of anything. Yeah, it's all just firing delay. Extra constraints, that's not what I'm looking for. So, unfortunately, can't do anything like that. So, yeah, I'm going to call it there. We've had like 10 minutes of testing, and it seems to work okay. Not the best, but not bad either. And there's definitely a whole bunch of shells. They just have a habit of blowing each other up. So, this has been Iron Mark III. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show and this little look at a quick flak system. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yes, indeed. See you all later. Yeah, especially the smaller stuff. That's what it seems to be able to deal with at the moment. I would love to spend more time just working on this thing, but hey.